Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. So, let me show you what I'm up to today. You guys remember the Honda ATC70? And I've been looking at that front plastic that got chewed up by the pit bull. So what I did today is I spent a few minutes on it, and you can see this side I cleaned the markings off of. It's still got a bit of a chew mark right there, but I wanted to remove as little plastic as possible, just to give you an idea of how I did it. Is I figured out the center line, so I went from there to there and put a dot, and then came down here and went from there to there and put a dot, then drew a straight line. So that gave me the center line. And from there, I bent this piece of wire into shape, and I fit it right there. And then you guys could see the little dot on it as I move it. So that gave me the center line there, and I just traced it. You can see the line. Then I did the same thing on this side to make it right. So I did the same thing on this side, and you guys could see how it's all trimmed up. So that's how I drew the line. I used my 4-inch grinder. You could see all the blue in there. When you're doing this, the smaller wheel gives you a little better control, but it's harder to get a straight line with it. To kind of to do the cut, you kind of use the edge, obviously, but as you're trying to flatten it out, you kind of work your way in closer to the metal, because that gives you kind of an area of straight line. So anyway, it trimmed up. To give you an idea, you can kind of see this is the center, and I tried to keep as much as possible, but you see this area here where it's all chewed up, where the fur stuck. I mean, you can get an idea of how chewed it was, how much had to come off. And I took it off in tiny little pieces. So, once again, when you're looking at this dark line here, it still has a little. It's not perfect by any means, and I'm considering kind of flattening this edge out a little bit. If you look at the original fender obviously, right, had a much straighter front to it. I mean, I had to take all of this off to the left, right, because literally back to, you could see where it's chewed, and you could just imagine this was mangled really pretty good. So, if you're back, I don't know, let's make it, that's about 5 foot. I mean, could you really notice anything? You guys could see a little wrinkle here. That was from Mr. Pitbull also. But it really doesn't look too bad. What the fender should look like from a shape point of view, I can show you the red one that's on the 125 out here. It's the wrong fender for the bike, but this is what it's really supposed to look at. You guys could see it's pretty straight across here, right? I mean, it really comes out quite a ways. This one here also, obviously, took one in the face, right? It cracked it there and there. All these bikes, it's really hard to bring them back in any kind of perfect way. Now the sticker for this thing, telling you the year and all, is, yeah, it's on the side here, and you guys could see this is a 1983. This is another old timer. It's the same year as the 200X. My plan is to kind of go back and forth between this one and the 200X. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish cleaning this up. This has still got a little bit of a bend down to it. I might have to put the heat gun to it just slightly to get that. I mean, you guys could see the teeth marks. You know, in some ways you say, oh, it's a shame the pit bull got to this thing, and it really, from a beautiful bike getting ruined point of view, it was a shame, because before the pit bull got to it and tore the seat off, right, he also did the seat on this thing. It was in perfect shape. And the guy who owned it before me was about my size, and he was drunk and driving it, and that's how this got bent on a flip. So in one way you could say it's a shame the pit bull got to it, but if the pit bull didn't get to it, he probably would not have sold it, and I definitely wouldn't have got it for the price I got it for. Unfortunately, I mean, you guys could see this, right? There's really no way of putting this back on. So I'm probably going to follow this line here and, you know, try to trim off as little as I can. Maybe I can get it all the way out here. What's interesting, as you are trimming, and I do suggest trimming it a little bit at a time, when I took this piece off, right, and I started on the damaged side first. I really didn't take much off of this, and it started to look better. So you know, go slowly. It would have been very easy to say, oh man, the damage is all the way over here, let me, you know, hack it all the way across. But now you're throwing mud in this guy, and it doesn't look quite right and all. As you're also picking your angles, try to get angles, right, that won't look too bad with between the tire and the way the rest of the bike looks. You want to try to get your angles so they look as good as possible. So I mean, that's backing it up here. So not too bad. When I finish cleaning this off, looks like I have, I'm going to have to get just a little more trim down here to make it match. Right. This also isn't quite cooperating. It keeps sending itself back. Yeah, I'm probably just going to trim this up just a little bit more here. There was some line left here that I wiped off, so probably just a touch more there, and I think it'll all look pretty good. Anyway, let me know what you think. If anybody else has other ways of doing this, I'm always interested in hearing. Right? I find, you know, making templates or paper dolls or any of that kind of stuff, it typically makes everything go a little better. Some folks could, you know, like freehand, like get a grinder and go, oh, I know exactly what I want this fender to do, and just, and it's perfect. Homie doesn't have that talent, and I think most people don't have that talent from the bikes I've bought over the years, right? I've seen a lot of wrecked and hacked up stuff, so the idea is you really want to figure out what you're up to before you start hacking and whacking. Yeah, I just want to get that up. It seems that when I first bend it there, it looks really pretty nice, and then I walk away and it kind of works its way back again. All right, folks. Next time you see this, I don't know. I'm probably going to work on the back a little bit. I'll get the plastic done today. Then I'll show you that. So Front fender restored after pit bull chew. Alright folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up, and please get out there and enjoy all your days. Bye now folks.